Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing a movie review. This movie is a horror film from Spain, spoken in the English and Spanish language with a few English subtitles, released in the year 2015, directed by Rafa Martinez, and this movie is called Sweet Home. So Sweet Home is about this Spanish real estate agent. She has an English boyfriend and she wants to get away for the evening, have a romantic evening. So what she's going to do is get this apartment in this rundown complex, and this is how they're going to spend their evening. But it's going to be anything but romantic, because what this Spanish real estate agent didn't realise is that the tenants inside this apartment are no longer wanted. So some of the people have actually vacated this apartment complex, which is ultimately the reason why this Spanish woman wanted this apartment, because it is very quiet. But yeah, she doesn't know that the tenants who have stayed behind and refusing to leave are being killed by these mysterious strangers within the complex. So their night is about to go from bad to worse, as this couple are seen as the tenants who don't want to leave. So these mysterious strangers are going to try and get to them and eliminate them once and for all. So it's going to turn into a deadly game of cat and mouse, and what happens at the end is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Sweet Home. I didn't know what to expect with this movie. I had no expectations, but in the end what I got was a very entertaining film. Now ultimately the problem with the movie is that it is very cardboard cutout. It is very thin. There is no time into the characters, so if you want something with a little bit of depth and a little bit of emotion, then Sweet Home is definitely not for you. But if you want a really fun time on a Friday evening with a group of your friends and you don't feel like caring for characters, then Sweet Home is definitely one that will appeal to you. So I like the fact that Sweet Home, the characters aren't very likeable, but at the same time they don't get bogged down in trying to get a likability towards them, because a lot of these films try to do that, but if they're not well written and they're not well liked, it just feels like a waste of time. So the movie doesn't bother with going into side elements of this relationship between this Spanish woman and this English guy. It would have been easy to get bogged down into the side story of their relationship that you don't really care for, but it doesn't do that. At the forefront, what it wants to be is a slasher type of movie, and that's exactly what it concentrates on, and that's why it becomes very entertaining, because although you don't care about these characters, you don't hate these characters. They're not stereotypical annoying people where you want to see these strangers kill them. And so for that, I really like that as well, is that it feels like you're just watching an everyday occurrence. There's strangers being attacked by these other strangers, and you don't want to see awful things happen to them, but at the same time it does keep that very fun element in that if they do die, you don't really care about it. So it just feels like you're watching a news report of someone being stalked. You say to yourself, that's bad, but you don't really think about it twice afterwards, and that's exactly what you get in this. I thought there were shades of Wreck, the Spanish franchise, in that it is stuck in an apartment complex, which I really liked. It's very claustrophobic. I really like the cinematography in the film. It feels like it's devoid of all colour. It is colourful, but it feels very seedy, so you feel like you are in a horror environment, and you think that bad things are going to happen even though the carnage hasn't started yet. I really like the element of the strangers. You don't really get an insight into who they are or why they're working for this person who wants these tenants eliminated. But as I said, it doesn't get bogged down in side story. It hits you with a simple story, but its simplicity done very well. I thought the acting was decent, although the Spanish actress, she has a very thick Spanish accent, so when she was speaking English, it kind of took me out a little bit. I would have preferred this movie to be entirely in Spanish or entirely in English. Now, being a Spanish film, ultimately you want it to be in Spanish, because these Spanish actors, especially this actress, could have been a lot more natural and in her element as far as acting is concerned. So I just thought some of the dialogue with her when she's speaking English was just a little bit off. And so, but as I said, it doesn't strike you as a movie with a lot of... It doesn't try to be a movie that is taken seriously. It is a movie that ultimately you want to have fun with, and that's exactly what happens. So I thought the kills were very brutal. There were some very, very good scenes of suspense. So the horror set pieces are very well done. And as I said, that's because it can concentrate on these set pieces. It's not trying to distract itself with side plots, which a lot of these films do. I don't know why you need side plots. I don't know why you need insight into stories that are not relevant to the situation. But Rafa Martinez realises what the situation is. He's not going to get bogged down, and it's just a very straightforward horror film that got some pretty good kills. I thought that some of the kills were very graphic, which is something I really liked. And at the end, it does strike you with a little bit of emotion. These people have been through absolute hell, and as I said, although you don't really care for them, by the end of it you think, okay, you deserve to come out of this alive because you've been through so much. Now whether or not they do, I'm not going to tell you, but after a while you start to feel sorry for these people because they're being bombarded by all this violent nature that you think to yourself, okay, well, you deserve to go. So you do get a little bit of liking towards the end based on the fact that there's so much carnage put upon them. So if you like your suspenseful movies and your violent films that have very good attention to detail and it is simplicity done very well, then Sweet Home is one I would recommend. I like the ending, although the ending does go down a bit of a generic sort of Hollywood road. I still thought that this is definitely worth the time and effort if you are a fan of this type of thing. It's a very fun film that your friends could watch together, and yeah, it doesn't sidetrack itself with unnecessary rubbish that pollutes a lot of these types of movies. So overall, for Sweet Home, I'm going to give it 3 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I'm sure you will as well. Alright guys, that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.